Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. We are back at it. So I just got back not too long ago from JT Meleck out in Branch, Louisiana. And actually had a lot of friends reach out. I mean, patrons, subscribers, just whiskey friends locally. Like, Judge, what was the whole barrel pick experience like at JT Meleck? So I'll give everyone a quick overview of just my barrel pick experience at JT Meleck. So when you think of JT Meleck, they're located in Branch, Louisiana. Not New Orleans. I was thinking the same thing. It's not New Orleans. It's about 2 hours away from New Orleans in a very small farming community. So when you think of JT Meleck, their family history, and this is a true craft distillery, and I mean a true craft distillery. Their family history, they're farmers, honestly. Since 1896 in the back, they've been farming crawfish and rice. Truly crawfish and rice, and that's their family business. Fast forward to about 6-7 years ago, they decided at that point in time, hey, we should use our rice in order to make spirits. So they started with vodka, and then what we all love, of course, in addition to the vodka, is their whiskey. So they started producing that. So myself and 10 patrons, we had a chance to go down. What I loved about JT Meleck, they welcomed us. They, gave a full tour. We had a chance to hang out with not only with Mia, we hung out with her father, the owner, Mike, and some of the other folks that also work at JT Meleck. What I love about JT Meleck is the fact that not only are they a craft distillery, but they're also grain to bottle. So they farm their own rice, and they're using their own rice to make their whiskey. I love that. And I also love the fact that everyone that we interacted that day, for the most part, not everyone, but for the most part, were part of their family. So they are truly a family-owned business, and the majority of the people working there are also part of their family. You gotta love that. All right. So we did a full tour. We went through, and again, they're using rice to make their whiskey. So as we looked down into the huge cooker that was, that was at that point in time that was operating. Typically, when you look down and you're looking at the beer that's obviously being made, the beer typically you have in there in the mash bill. Normally you have corn, rye, malted barley, and sometimes wheat. But for them, again, their whiskey is truly made out of rice. Truly rice, in their own rice, more important. But we had a chance, we went through they took us through everything. They took us through their bottle design, which you look at their lovely bottle design. This, by the way, was created by Mia's mother. So they wanted to incorporate, because they're known for not only their rice, but also their farmers, their crawfish. So they added the crawfish on the front here of the bottle. Beautiful design. We had a chance to hang out in their kind of like in their little. They have a couple of different barrel houses where they store their barrels, but like the main location before it goes across the street, we had a chance to hang out in there. Mike gave us a wonderful overview. Let's go ahead and check that out.
There you go. Oh no, this is a sight to see.
Yeah.
So, as we've grown, this originally was our first dedicated barrel storage. Now it's more of a weigh station for the barrels as they're either moving in or out of production. And we use it for receiving new barrels that are about to be dumped, or barrels.
All right, so you had a chance to learn a little bit more about their barrels. Again, they work with 4 different cooperages as a whole. And when you think about just like their whiskey, look at the color, folks. Look how dark this whiskey is. That's pretty dark, right? Seriously, that is insane. Absolutely insane. I will say it's hot in Louisiana. It's hot. It's humid, and that heat has an impact on the whiskey, thank goodness, in a very positive way. So that heat definitely has an impact on the whiskey for sure, but in a positive way, hence the dark color. So all those the heating elements, the sugars in the barrels, all that is just penetrating the whiskey and just making some great whiskey. Hey, real quick, cheers to that, and cheers to the JT Meleck team for having us out during the barrel selection process. Woo! That's amazing. So we then had a chance to kind of go through their bottling station. That day they were actually bottling. A lot of people know they came out with most recently their high proof. I think it's 118 proof. It's like the light blue label. They were bottling that day. So don't worry. I know it sold out originally online, but there's definitely more high proof JT Meleck whiskey coming out for sure. But we had a chance to sample not only that, we sampled their vodka. And then the most important part of the barrel selection process, we had a chance to go back to the tasting room. So they set us up, everything was set up. I mean, absolutely perfect. We enjoyed it. We had 4 different barrels to pick from. The barrel that we picked, which is this bad boy right here, it was just shy of 5 years old. I think it was like 4 years and 9 months. It was like 4 years and 9 months, so just shy of 5 years. The barrel we picked came in at 122.6 proof as the barrel entry proof. But when it came out of the barrel, because we know whiskey always changes once it's in the barrel, it came out even actually a little bit higher. Now our barrel is actually 124.7 proof. Yes, 124.7 proof. It was honestly, of the 4, it was actually hard because all 4 barrels that we had to pick from were almost like equally good, but one stood out from the rest. One stood out, and it was this barrel that we picked. It was absolutely amazing. Hence the reason why we picked the barrel for our Bourbon Judge community. One thing that I thought was really cool, most times when you go to a barrel pick, in most occasions, you pick your barrel, you go home, you can get your bottles a couple months later. But for those of us that were there on site, they literally took our barrel for us that were there. We said, hey, we want 1, 2, X number of bottles. We bought like 20, 30 bottles. They were like, all right, we're going to take your barrel. They dump the whiskey to fill at least 20 to 30 bottles. We bought our bottles there on site, which I loved. Hence the reason why I have the Bourbon Judge barrel or bottle with me live. And then luckily, all of the rest of the bottles that are there, they're bottling the rest of it up, and it will be available through Bourbon Outfitters for our Bourbon Judge Patron community. But I was really thankful, honestly, that we were able to walk away that day in hand with the Bourbon Judge bottles in hand for those of us that went on the barrel pick. You want to talk about a classy and a class act as a whole? JT Meleck, folks, if you ever see their whiskey in a store, online, when I say trust the judge, trust the judge. This courtroom will never ever lie. Peace, cheers, and most important, salute. Cheers to JT Meleck. Thanks again for having us on site. Take care, everyone. See ya. Wow. Woo! Rice whiskey. I'll take this all day long.